Yeah, well, first of all, Philippe Clement is away. It was the right decision. It was long overdue, and the only thing was that the Rangers board shouldn't have waited as long, but they did. And now our colleague and the Rangers legend, Barry Ferguson, has been given the role until the end of the season. First of all, Paul, wish him well. I hope it's a big success for him. He's named his backroom staff. I think he's made excellent additions with the backroom staff: Neil McCann, Billy Dodds, and Alan McGregor. So listen, wish them well. I hope it goes well for him. He's got 11 weeks to audition for the job to become the permanent Rangers manager. Interim just now, but let's see what the next 3 months hold for him.
And Craig, it starts Wednesday evening, Kilmarnock against Rangers. Celtic in action tomorrow night against Aberdeen. Was one of the things on Saturday the fact that Celtic slipped up, uncharacteristic, but after a huge game in Europe, but they dropped points, and it was a chance for Rangers to narrow the gap, albeit it's virtually over, but they couldn't do it, and they didn't really show that spirit or the fight to try and narrow the gap.
Look, as Mark was saying, the decision to let Philippe Clement go was the right decision. It was probably later than to be expected. The performance against St Mirren was absolutely miles off it. It was half full stadium. Rangers never looked a threat throughout the match. St Mirren well worth the 3 points, and for me to say that in terms of a game at Ibrox on the back of exiting from the Cup against Queen's Park, change had to be made. So exciting times ahead in terms of the whole takeover situation, and now with new staff in place to attack the rest of the season.
Will Barry get a tune out of this squad? Because it was abject on Saturday.
Yeah, he will. Look, the staff that have also come in, all different types of characters, but one thing that they will offer is energy and enthusiasm that is infectious, an understanding of the football club and what it means to put that jersey on. But these are kind of things, Paul, for me that are basic fundamentals and that you can build on. They have been lacking, and they've been lacking for some time. So naturally, you bring those ingredients to the table, there will be a natural lift. I've no doubt about that.
And you were on the field with him, so many victories.
Yes.
For Rangers, and you've had an insight from him in the last I haven't spoken to him since late last night.
Yep.
But for you, there's a comment that you made there that shows the listeners. What can you tell them about Barry's attitude going into this?
Well, look, it to a lot of people it will look as if it's a huge step up to what he's done in terms of management wise, but trust me when I say this, Barry Ferguson will not be fazed. He is a strong character. He's demanding. He's demanding as a friend, let alone as a manager and a coach. But he will drive standards. He will drive standards. But he'll also know when to put an arm around. There's some young players in there that have a bright future ahead, and I think that's important in terms of developing these players. How can you add value to the squad and these younger type of players? But his energy. Another thing you'll see on the bench, I've no doubt about it, with Barry, is emotion. And I think that passion and emotion, I think it's also good because it rubs off onto the team, Paul.
Mark, what's your take on it?
Well, first of all, I respect Barry as a colleague, as a pundit. He's been excellent on Go Radio. Sat beside him for 4 years. I've known Barry since he was a kid, coming through at Rangers since 1997. But it's about the here and now. And one thing, Paul, as we know, working together most Mondays and Fridays together with Barry on air, but even when we're off air, he's been hurting about what's been happening to his club. He's been hurting badly. What he says on air isn't a front or just because the listeners want to hear or what the Rangers supporters want to hear. He genuinely hurts, genuinely cares for the club. And a number of times that we've sat in here on a Monday night after a poor result at the weekend, whether that was through Michael Beale, whether that was through Philippe Clement, he would always also address the players and challenge the players on here and say, you know what, I need to see more from those players. See, when you play for Rangers, it's not good enough to be good for half an hour. You need to be good for 90 minutes. You need to be beating Celtic. You need to be winning trophies. You need to be given 100%. So there's a lot of those things that have been missing, that are fundamentals that will quickly get put back into place. And then as well, that Barry highlighted and Craig particularly highlighted a couple of weeks ago, how you manage your young players to get the best of them that are coming through the academy. Bailey Rice, for example. Okay, so all those wee kind of things. But it can't all be done overnight. You know, it's a massive job he's taken on. The players, by the way, should take a long, hard look at themselves. They've let down the jersey, they've let down the club, they've let down the supporters. And I've said it, and Barry won't have time to do this in the next 11 weeks, or whoever else comes in beyond that, if it's not going to be Barry permanently. But the place needs gutted, absolutely gutted. And they're not good enough. The evidence is there that they are not good enough to take Rangers to a title, nowhere near it. So there's a lot of things to put right, but first and foremost, you just get the spirits going. Paul, you try and give them a wee bit of self-confidence, you try and get an arm around a couple of people. I think it's really important that they have a good relationship with James Tavernier. He's a captain. Questions whether he should be the captain, but he is a captain, and that would be the kind of starting point, your senior group, and go and get the best out of them and rub off the rest of the dressing room.